Hi, welcome to Matt Talk, a video podcast for the friends and family of Coming First United Methodist Church from me, Pastor Matt. Well, today is Monday. Happy Monday to you, August the 14th, 2023. I wanted to share with you today that our Committee on Nominations and Leadership Development is busy compiling a list of nominations to submit to the Church Council on the next meeting, August 28th. We are doing this in preparations for our Charge Conference, which is early this year. It will be a joint charge conference with other United Methodist churches in the Forsyth County area, and they'll all be coming here to Coming First United Methodist Church on Sunday, September the 10th at 3 o'clock. We'll need lots of help greeting people at various places around our campus and helping everyone make their way to the sanctuary. So if you can help that day, please call the church office and let us know. And as we continue to do our work in preparation for our meeting, we are compiling a list of nominations. Maybe there's an area in which you would like to serve, or maybe you know of someone who, when you read and hear about that area of service, you think, oh, that would be a perfect fit. CFUMC operates in the following way. We have a church council who discerns God's vision for how the mission of the church is accomplished in this particular setting. Our mission is to make disciples of Jesus Christ for the transformation of the world. The Church Council employs the work of 6 ministry teams to carry out the work of ministry in particular areas of the church. Those 6 teams are, first of all, the hospitality team. Their work revolves around inviting and welcoming persons to this campus. This is for worship, but it's also for any event that's held on our campus, like preschool or after school, upward sports, school musical concerts, whatever the event. They communicate with the larger community a message about who we are and what God is doing through us. And when people come to visit us for whatever the reason, we want to make them feel welcomed, and we want them to feel that they're at home here. They host meals like our Fifth Sunday celebrations. They welcome new members, preparing new member baskets and first-time visitor gifts. And they follow up with visitors and new members to acclimate them into the life of the church here. The second team is the worship team. Their work revolves around working with the pastors and staff to ensure that our worship experiences are the best that we can do for God's glory. They handle being sure that the ushers are scheduled and trained and ready to go, that paraments are changed up in the sanctuary and communion area, our chancel area, that communion is set up, that flowers are in place, that the overall setup for the various worship services and special worship services throughout the year are all ready. The third one is the faith development team, and their work revolves around ensuring that we're offering experiences for persons of all ages to develop their faith in Christ. That includes offering times for us to be in study and to fellowship, to be in times of prayer and devotion and journaling and other spiritual disciplines. They also ensure that we're growing not just Christians, but that we're growing good United Methodist Christians, teaching us all that our faith is not just about belonging, but it's also about transforming us. They ensure us we have a comprehensive and intentional plan of faith development from the earliest of nursery until the oldest member among us. The congregational care team is the fourth ministry team, and their work revolves around taking care of the congregation at the various stages and milestones of life. So one is expecting a baby, or one is sick, one needs a Stephen minister to get through a tough time in life, someone to walk alongside of them, one needs prayer, or one needs a visit at home or in the nursing home or maybe at the hospital. The congregational care team has a plan and has various ministries ready to help whatever we're going through. The fifth team is the missions and service team, and their work revolves around risk-taking missions and service, whether it's a project here on our campus or whether it is promoting the various United Methodist Church ministries, or whether it's a ministry in our community or meeting a need in our community or advocating for a certain group that is being ostracized in our community or in our country or around the world. This team is planning how we can be together and that we can be engaged in missions and serving together as the body of Christ, meeting the needs of others and of creation. And the sixth team and the last team is the generosity team. This team works with the faith development team and the Committee on Finance to teach the congregation about generosity and about being good stewards. They work to plan and implement the annual generosity campaign, where we make our annual estimates of giving. So as these 6 teams begin their plans for ministry, There are 5 different kinds of needs that these ministry teams have. The first is they need lay leadership to serve as captains of those teams and members of those teams. They need staff to equip them and to train them. They need building and equipment for space to do the ministries and equipment to do the ministries with. They have financial needs because everything we do costs something. And they also have a need for volunteers to help with the ministries that they're planning. Needs for laypersons to lead these ministry teams and to serve on these teams are made known to the Committee on Nominations and Leadership Development, and that team makes nominations and submits those nominations to the Church Council for approval. During the year, if someone moves away or becomes unable to serve, the Committee on Nominations submits nominations for replacements to be approved by the Council. Staff persons are employed to bring expertise in particular area of ministry so that they can equip laypersons to do ministry. Erroneously, sometimes staff are seen and see themselves as persons who are hired to do ministry for us. With such a mindset, our ministry is very limited as to what a few staff members can do. However, no one can be hired to be the church for us. So we hire staff because they have been trained, they can research, and thus they can equip persons to do the ministry. I tell the staff that I evaluate how well they're doing not by what a super program they have, but how many people are you engaging and equipping for ministry. The need for staff, for part-time and full-time experts to be hired, those needs are presented to the Staff Parish Relations Committee, who then, along with the senior pastor, hires the staff. The Staff Parish Relations Committee then helps to build relationships between staff and the congregation to make sure that we know what we're here for, that the staff is here to equip us, and that the congregation and lay people are here to do the ministry together. So to do ministry, space and buildings and equipment is needed, and the buildings have to be insured, and they have to be heated, and they have to be cooled. There's electricity needs and internet needs and need for phone and gas and restrooms and sink and water and so much more. All the needs for space and equipment and the upkeep of such, along with insurance and legal matters and the likes of such, these are all made known to the Board of Trustees, who then take care of all the legal property, business, and legal matters. The Finance Committee hears about the financial needs of these ministry teams, and these ministry teams submit their needs to the Committee on Finance, who compiles all those into a budget. And that budget is then submitted to the Church Council to see what the ministry we feel God's calling us to do will cost us. Once the Church Council agrees that these are the ministries to be done and that this is the cost of these ministries, including the cost of supplies and staff and building and equipment, etc., they approve the budget. Then the Committee on Finance works with the generosity team to see what is anticipated to be received through our individual giving for the year. And any deficit between the budget and what we anticipate to be given is raised by the Committee on Finance. The last part of these ministries is the need for volunteers like you and me. The hospitality team, for example, is a handful of people. They can plan for, recruit, train, and schedule greeters for various events, but they can't do all the greeting themselves. They need us. Every team needs us. So listen out and sign up and volunteer to help by calling the church office or talking with the team captain and committee chairs to see and to offer your help and to where you can be helpful. Speaking about talking with committee chairs and ministry team captains, another thing I'd like to talk with us about today is that we are most thankful for those who agree to serve in leadership positions in the church. And such service requires hours of preparation and meetings and follow-up in addition to their responsibilities at home and work and the other parts of their lives. All of us have thoughts and suggestions and opinions and questions from time to time, and our comments to church leaders are welcomed and should be directed to the various emails that have been set up for the various leadership positions. These email addresses can be found on our website. If you go to the CFUMCGA.com, you'll see a tab up at the top that says About. If you click that tab and then you choose Church Leadership, you'll find there the listing of the church leaders and the email addresses. When contacting church leaders, please remember that they are lay persons just like you. They've not been hired, nor are they compensated. They're volunteering to lead the church. So to them and to all persons, always be respectful and be a good witness of the Christian faith and as members of Coming First United Methodist Church. What we want to avoid is looking upon our leaders only in the definition of their leadership role. We have to remember that they are still members of the church who come to worship and who come to study, who come to grow in their faith. And we do not need to bombard them with conversations around their role and to use their personal time, their personal phone numbers, and personal emails to communicate about items that fall under their leadership. Instead, please keep all such communications via the leadership emails provided on the website. And do all you can to encourage our leadership team. The last thing we want to do is to beat them down, to wear them out, to make them feel wearied, and to make them wish, well, gosh, I don't ever want to go back to church. So when you see a leader in the church, remember just to say a simple thank you to them. I invite us all to be in prayer for the Committee on Nominations and Leadership Development and the work that is before them. I invite us all to pray about the places that God is calling us to serve, and then email me and let me know where you feel that you would like to serve, maybe on one of the ministry teams or maybe on one of the administrative committees. Pray about places that God is calling us to serve and to be proactive in letting us know your willingness and your availability so our church can be the utmost for Christ. I invite you also to pray for Coming First United Methodist Church always, and pray that we would put our hands and our feet and our minds, our schedules, and our all to work to make those prayers a reality. Well, I hope to see you Sunday, and I hope you will tune in next Monday for another Matt Talk. But until then, may the peace and the joy of the Lord be with you.